Now we will be reviewing Spider-Man 2099 issue number 1. Tim,
Right
do you want to
on.
start us off with the makers,
Yeah.
or should I get started with that?
I'll go ahead and give you the creative team there, and then if you want to take over the review portion, I'm cool with that. Absolutely.
Sounds good. And real quick before we get to that, Jamie replied, "Guy can't remember a password, but can win this week."
Yes, I can. And I have the password written down, so I'll never forget it again. However, with that being said,
right.
Spider-Man 2099 was brought to us by writing goes to Peter David, artwork goes to Rick Leonardi, inks go to Al Williamson, letters Rick Parker, not to be confused with Peter Parker, and colors go to Steve Buccellato. And that came out in September of 1992.
Right, with the cover date of November 1992.
That's right.
All right, but yeah, so here we go. We got Spider-Man 2099. We go into New York, obviously 2099.
What the shock?
Yeah, what the shock. Yes, there's a lot of slang. We start off with these teenagers flying in the sky, and they're chased by I don't know if they're police or law, and they're like, get those idiot kids out of the way. Oh, well, they're chasing Spider-Man 2099 and just taking those idiot kids out of the way. I thought it gave me a good laugh. They had along with the what the shock. So we see that Spider-Man, yeah, it is what the shock. So basically every swear word is changed to shock.
Yeah,
in the story. It is.
You
good.
better
What
not be shocking me right now. You better not be.
Yeah, what the shock? Shut the shock up.
Shock it, dude. Shock it.
Yeah. So it was a not so shocking appearance that Spider-Man 2099 is in Spider-Man 2099. It's Miguel. It's the Miguel O'Hara Spider-Man, and he's being chased by these law enforcement with these incredible villains such as Estevez, who we can assume is related to Emilio Estevez, and none of these characters are very memorable. Like I said, Spider-Man's he's jumping around, he's getting away. Surprise, surprise! He escapes and he makes it back home. And I said because it's 2099, it's pretty cool to see things in the future. And his answering machine is in the appearance of a lady, Lila, and when she says, "Oh, you have your messages," it's always somebody appearing, saying, "Hey, Miguel, we need this and that." And Miguel, you could tell he seems really worn out. He seems out of it. Like he's depressed. You could tell he's been through a lot. And he's just like, next. And then it gets to his fiance, Dana, and she's saying, we need to talk. And you see that she's beaten up. And, he sees down. And then we get back to the origin story.
Is he calling you right now?
It is not him. It's a random number. I'm just going to guess some scam number.
Oh my God.
The one time I don't turn the volume down. So that is a band. Well, the song is by a band named Vandenberg. I like my 80s hair metal music. Okay, but back to 2099. So like I said, Spider-Man, after he gets the message from Dana, we go back. It takes us back to how he became Spider-Man 29 and got these powers.
Yep.
So Miguel O'Hara, he works at this place called Alchemax, and there's a guy by his side named Aaron. And I gotta say, Miguel is really busting his chops a lot. And he's everything the guy says, he's got a quick, smart remark for him. And they're testing, and I don't want to get too detailed, but eventually Miguel is with his friend Tyler, or Tyler, who he calls Ty, and he's saying, "I'm leaving. I'm going to be done with the company."
Yeah, he throws his card right on the table.
Yeah,
breaks
he throws it. Done.
Yeah.
So Ty says, "Okay, here, let's have a drink. Hey, we're good." And then suddenly he tells him that Miguel feels out of it, and he finds out that Ty tells him he drugged it with the drug called Rapture. So now Miguel is high, and he's getting paranoid. He returns home, and Dana is there, and because he's freaking out, he even gives her an elbow, which is why she was swollen later on because of that. But she's trying to say, "I still love you," and to sort things out. But he wants to get away, so he returns back to his job at Alchemax, and he tests himself to just kind of heal himself from this rapture stuff. And then who was there? That guy Aaron, who he happened to be messing with, and Aaron says, "Now I will get my revenge." And that is where I will end my review of Spider-Man 2099, issue number 1. So, Tim, what the shock did you think of this comic?
Shouldn't have messed with Aaron. Should have left him alone.
Yeah, Aaron had enough. Well, first, actually, if you want to, you do have Jamie's review.
Yeah, I do, as a matter of fact, and I will bring that up right now. So what Jamie says here, let me see here, and I'm in the wrong spot. I'm in messages with him and not with everybody else.
While you do that, I lowered my phone so that we don't have any more music. As much as I love my 80s hair metal, we don't need it on the show.
So Jamie says that Spider-Man 2099 gets a solid 8.3 from him, and it made him want to read the entire series and also made him forget that he owned the first issue. And I believe the smiley face is from you, Sonny. Yep, it is. Okay.
Yeah, and I did tell him, I said, hey, that number 1, the value is going to go up later this year when
absolutely
Spider-Man. Yeah.
I have 2 copies sitting out there in the living room right now, one newsstand and one direct, and I will sell the snot out of that newsstand when it hits peak price. You better believe it.
I'll give you $5, man.
Dude, sold. It's on its way.
All right, we got video evidence now.
Yeah. So, okay. So my thoughts on Spider-Man 2099, number 1, I think it is an immensely solid origin. You don't really see a whole lot like this, or at least back in the 90s, where you got the first 5 pages of solid Spider-Man action, and then you don't see him in costume anymore for the rest of the issue, and then it just goes into the entire origin story, and I loved that. I thought that was amazing. Peter David's writing was very, very well done in this issue. It's superb. It's fantastic. It's spectacular. Spider-Man in the beginning, like I said, several pages, and then not again for the remainder of the issue. Rick Leonardi's artwork in here, I think, matched the tone that was needed to be done for something as wild and crazy as Spider-Man 2099. Because I remember when this issue came out, and me and my friends were like, what the shock is this? This is shocking ridiculous, and we're not going to check it out, but we all did.
Everyone was saying that.
Yeah, we all did, and we all
word for word.
Yeah. And it was great. It was fantastic. So yeah, the writing gets a solid 10 from me. I love the flow. I love the way that it moved. I love shock. And I love, like I said before, Spider-Man in the first couple of pages, and then you don't even see him in costume anymore. And it's the entire origin, at least up to when he comes out of the machine at the end, and he's got the pupilless eyes and the fangs and claws and all that
almost
stuff.
like Mephisto.
Yeah, a little bit. Artwork also gets a solid 10 from me. When you think of Spider-Man 2099, it's Rick Leonardi all the way. And he did one of my favorite adjective-less Spider-Man comics. That was number 17. You Will Believe a Hero Can Die. When Spider-Man did die for 2 seconds and went and talked to Thanos. Yeah, Leonardi did the artwork for that too, and it was beautiful. And I love his style, especially with Spider-Man 2099. So this gets a 10 across the board.
Wow. So a 10 out of 10 for Tim.
Yeah.
What the shock.
What the shock. Sonny, I'm curious to hear what your grade is for this.
So for me, my opinion is pretty shocking.
Ooh.
And I'm not in the swear word shocking, but so yeah, I really like Spider-Man 2099, like the character himself, and Miguel O'Hara, as the Spider-Man. And so I was interested, like, okay, let me get, like when you said, hey, we should do this sometime. So I was excited to get into it, and maybe I think I hyped myself up so much. And I also do like, I said, Peter David's writing, especially his writing, like he worked on X Factor for a while, and the Incredible Hulk. It's probably my favorite run of the Hulk.
And he's not a stranger to Spider-Man because he's done Spider-Man work before.
yes, like I said, a lot of work I've enjoyed. And then, so I think when I started off, I said, the comedy, the shock stuff was definitely gave me a good laugh. Like I said, I like the part when they're like, get those idiots out of the way. So there's some good parts. I like that. And then I do like the futuristic, a lot of futuristic things. Like I said, how he sees Lila is basically his answering machine, who's
Yeah.
an actual woman. And then I did like the talk of like, oh, he's going to get into drugs, where it takes a more serious turn. And then we went back to the story. We were talking, and then it did lose me a little bit. Like I was like, okay, I get it, but I was like, oh man, I was maybe expecting a super villain. I wanted to see like who does Spider-Man 2099 fight, and I guess I wanted to see him return again. And like I said, we only
Mhm.
saw it like in the beginning. So for me, I was a little underwhelmed by it, and I was like, oh, I wanted more, but I still like, because I said, you have it's the first appearance. It's a
Yeah.
great new character, great new Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then I am still, like I said, even like Jamie said, it gets you to want to read more. I want to see
Oh
what's going
yeah.
to happen with this character. And yeah, but like I said, the villains, I wasn't too interested in Aaron or Ty. But like I said, I want to see what's going to happen with the drug things and everything. So I enjoyed it, not as much as I thought I would enjoy it. So I give this Spider-Man 2099 a shocking 7.5.
Whoa, Sonny,
So
that's
I was like, what the shock?
so Sonny, you do a 7.5. Jamie did an 8.3, and I took it to the moon and went to
We
10.
switched.
That's yeah, usually your grades are pretty high, but 7.5. Now, guys, you
But
need to
still
understand.
good, yeah.
Yeah, 7.5 is a solid grade. 6.5 is a solid grade too, but it's uncommon for Sonny to go
Yeah.
that low.
So yes, I still say good, and especially like we said, what a great character it is. But I was expecting more. It wasn't one of my favorites. I'm
I
like, oh, I
see.
love it. I guess maybe too. Maybe I think I hyped it up a bit much, but I still want to say good, and I would still recommend checking it out. And I still do want to continue the story.
I would recommend if I mean you dug Spider-Man enough, swing into Doom 2099. That's where it's at.